Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm so very glad that you clicked on the video. My name is Amanda and I am a neurodivergent woman. I have aphantasia, which is the inability to visualize in your mind's eye, and I have a memory disorder called SDAM. I am also on the path to getting an official autism diagnosis. So a little update about that. This last Monday, I went in for my first 1 hour evaluation, and I did a video about how that kind of went. And to summarize, it was mostly just sitting down, kind of going over some past history and, you know, what brought me in and things like that. And then the psychologist emailed me five or six really long surveys to fill out online, and it's those kinds that I really cannot stand where they ask you a question and it's like never, sometimes, almost, always, you know, those kinds of questions. Those I struggle with those. I always overthink them. And some of the questions my brain will, oh gosh, like I just cannot wrap my head around what the right answer is. Like, this isn't what a question was, but it felt like it to me. It was like, do you almost always never like to drink alcohol at work? Sometimes. That I'm exaggerating. That is not one of the questions, but that's how my brain hears it. But yeah, there were questions, you know, about like, do you use alcohol to cope? And there was a lot of questions about drug use, which I have never been dependent or even interested in drugs, and I very, very rarely drink alcohol, like super very rarely. But there was all kinds of questions about social and that kind of thing. Sorry, just thinking. Like, okay, I'm getting off topic here. I'm also getting evaluated for ADHD, which, you know, originally, honestly guys, I did not start this year off thinking, hey, I wonder if I'm autistic or ADHD. I started having concerns about my children, and when I started asking questions, the doctor, and like kind of figuring out what is going on with my kids, because their anxiety was ramping up very, very severely. And they were starting to have panic attacks quite often. And that's when we uncovered the fact that they were autistic and masking, and a lot of their panic attacks were coming because they were not able to keep up the mask. So that's a whole nother video about masking. Actually, I have one kind of where I talk about it for myself. I don't talk about my kids too much on the channel, just a little bit here and there. But while I was researching and learning about autism for my kids, that's when I realized that, oh, I might be autistic too. And so that's how I got here. Anyway, today's video is about stimming. So I naturally accommodated my kids throughout their life with the stimming because I've always seen it as something that is healthy, and part of that's probably because I actually naturally did it too, and I could see the benefit of the release of being able to do these movements. Now, a lot of times people will, so what is stimming? Stimming is a movement that typically autistic people do. And you don't have to be autistic to stim, but it is one of the traits of autism that is common, and it helps regulate your anxiety. It can help take sensory overload and like give you a focal point. So one of the stims that I've done my entire life, so I didn't think I stemmed because the media portrays stimming as very big motor skills. Like, you'll see autistic people flap a lot of times, and that's very healthy and it's good. But that is just one form of stimming. So I will twirl my rings. If I'm wearing jewelry, I will twirl it, or I'll take it from finger to finger to finger and like hop, hop, hop. And I like Dr. Seuss book, hop, hop, hop. So that's one that I'll do. And if I'm wearing a hoodie or something with a drawstring, like pants or something, I will twirl the drawstring over and over and over. If I'm at a restaurant, I am the one who's always playing with the straw paper. I'll tie it in knots and then I'll curl it up, wrap it around my fingers, I'll tear it into little bitty pieces, all kinds of stuff with the straws. If there's no straw on the table at a restaurant, I'm the one playing with the sugar packets. Another one that I've done since I was a little kid, because I learned ASL like when I was in elementary school. I learned the ASL alphabet. I wish I was fluent in all American Sign Language, but I will finger spell. Like just I'll finger spell words that pop into my head, you know, and sometimes I'm better at it than others. I'm kind of out of practice. I haven't been doing that as much, but I will do that. If I am wearing jeans and I have coins in my pocket or like buttons or some little thing that I picked up, I'll sit there and play with it in my jeans pockets. When I wear my purse across my chest, and I will play with the metal clasp down here on my purse. If I'm sitting at a desk, I am doodling, especially like if I'm on a video conference call, or when I was in school having to listen to college lectures or high school, I was always doodling. Sometimes pictures, sometimes just writing my name over and over. Just my notes were always full of crazy doodles. If I'm trying to think, a lot of times I will tap my head. So those are some of the like kind of more subtle stims that I wasn't even really aware that I did until, you know, I was looking into autism and people were asking me, well, do you stim? And I'm like, I don't think so. But then I caught myself doing things like this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is what I'm doing. I'm like doing a movement over and over to kind of regulate my body. So sometimes stimming can be unhealthy. So like if you have a stim that where you chew the inside of your mouth or scratch your skin until it bleeds or bite your nails, those can be very unhealthy, and you want to be able to replace those behaviors because they are, your brain is wanting some kind of tactile or physical response to calm you down. So you work on replacing those with a healthy version. Now, I'm not a medical doctor, but this is just logical, okay, people? So one thing that one of my kids likes, because they tend to chew the inside of their mouth, is there's a brand called Chewlery. Actually, I don't know if it's a brand or if it's just a thing. It's called Chewlery. Chewelry, I think. I'll link them down below in my description box. They are kind of a silicone that's safe to chew, and it can wear a necklace. I think they come in bracelets, and you can chew on them, and they're safe, and they replace that urge to chew on your cheek. And any kind of fidgets in your hands will keep your hands busy from scratching yourself. And, you know, trying to find things like the ring one helps me not pick at my fingers. So just replacing the habits that your body is wanting to do with healthier ones. So really quick before I wrap up this video, I want to show you a couple of, now I've decided to embrace the stim, and I realized I was kind of jealous of all of the fidgets that I've been buying my kids over the years, because, you know, I'm a grown-up, and it's like, hey, I'm a grown-up, I can buy these fidgets for myself. So here's a couple of my favorites that satisfy my stimming urges. So, oh my gosh, and I will link these down below again too. So these are like silicone needles. They're super stretchy, they're soft, I love their texture. They help me with that urge that I like to do with straws, where I could tie them into knots, and I can sort them and I can play with them, and they are just, I love their texture. They're so great. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is one of my favorites. Another absolute favorite of mine, which I've mentioned before on a video, are these teeny tiny magnets. There's 512 of them, if you'll believe that, in this tiny little thing. And you can kind of pull them apart. And some of them come in multicolor packs, so you can kind of sort them. You can squish them. They make a kind of crunchy noise when you, I don't like a lot of loud fidgets, but this one is kind of a noise that I do like, that's soothing. There's some stems out there that are noisy, and that a lot of autistic people want that repetitive noise. I don't particularly like that usually, but this one is more organic sounding, and I like it. And then the last, well, two more. So I love any kind of putty. Aaron's Thinking putty is a really good one. It lasts for a long time. They come in different size tins. This is a small one. So a lot of times during movies, I would steal my kids' putty because I cannot sit through a movie if I am not stimming. And I never really realized that about myself. So I love putties and just playing with them and stretching them over and over. And then the last stimming behavior thing that I like is it's my new dragon named Kitty, and my husband bought this for me, and it's so soft. And again, if I'm like listening to something and I need to pay attention, it's so soft, and just petting it kind of relaxes my brain. So that soft texture. So, oh, I love Kitty. Anyway, so those are some of my stims. You can be an adult in STEM, enjoy them, embrace it, STEM on purpose, people. Make sure you subscribe to this video, give it a thumbs up to help me with the algorithm, and send this to anybody that is complaining that your kid is stimming and they're worried about them. A lot of times aunts, uncles, grandparents are not understanding stimming behavior. It is very healthy, and do not try to prevent a child from stimming, or an adult. So embrace the STEM. Have a good day, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next video. Bye.